VIEWSONIC X2-4K. Now there's a compartment door over here, which is good if you're putting this on the desk mount and you do not want to collect any dust on all these control buttons and the focal adjustment lens part and so on. And of course, you can always ceiling mount it. I will turn over and show you the base later on. Now, so over here, the advantage is that it has a few control buttons, which includes the on button, navigation buttons, and so on. So naturally, the lens are here, and then it has a focus lens, which actually is able to do some zooming function, right over here as well. As you can see that the lens is moving. So over here, if you notice, it indicates over here that the sound is by Harman Kardon. So let's do a sound test on the Harman Kardon speaker later on. Now this remote control for this X2-4K is pretty sleek. All right, at least it's not like the LX700 whereby the remote control looks more like a taser, right? So again, yeah, this is backlit. So you can see some lights over here. So all the buttons are actually backlit and comes with a sleek design, not bad. And the black color matches this black housing for the projector. So let's look at the back view of the projector. So it comes with an audio out 3.5mm jack port, RS232 service port, and at the same time you can, this is only meant for service. You have another dedicated USB port which is meant for power. So if you want to power things like Amazon Fire Stick, you can always use this port over here, right? There's another USB-C port. USB-C port is purposely meant for things like from your phone. You're able to use this as a display port to display your phone contents or even from your MacBook. But again, of course, you must remember to always get the appropriate USB-C type of cable that is meant for data transmission. And these are the two dedicated HDMI ports over here. Unfortunately, the HDMI port has no up nor E-up. So you're not able to connect with the sound system, all right, from like Dolby Atmos and so on and so forth from the sound system. So going forward, what are the features of this projector? Now this projector comes with LED, meaning to say the light source is built by LED, not laser, because the LX700-4K is working on laser while this is working on LED. So LED advantage is that it has a maintenance-free lifespan of 60,000 hours, comparing to the specs stated by them for the laser is about 20,000, or sometimes they stated 30,000 hours of lifespan. The lumens for this, the stated lumens is 2,900 LED lumens, but let's test what is their NC lumens later on during our RGB and white color testing, right? Like I said, it comes with Harman Kardon speaker, so sound quality is not bad. And of course, this main selling point for X2-4K is the short throw version, meaning to say we will be able to project a 100-inch screen with only 1.5 meter from the screen. Okay, this is the base of the projector, and it comes with 3 mounting holes for those who prefer to do a sitting mount, right? So there's also a 2 steps lifter if you plan to actually place it for desktop mount. So let me just flip the projector and then show you. Look, it's actually being angled and it's pointing upwards, right, in an inclined position. So if I want to lower the height, I just bend the legs rather than this one. We bend the legs and you would reduce by half the height. This is the second part of the video of the 3 videos that we are putting together between LX700-4K and X2-4K. So right in front of us right now, we are looking at the back of this VIEWSONIC X2-4K. So to do this demonstration, we have also insert a Amazon Fire Stick to the HDMI port of this projector. And why do we use an Amazon stick whereby it's supposed to have some Android function that is built in into this projector. Now, let's look at the built-in interface before we go on to the Android Fire Stick. Now, over here, as I said, we have already plugged in the Amazon Fire Stick into the HDMI 1. So now I'm going to switch to the smart OS setting, the smart settings within the projector. So I'm going to press on the home icon button on the remote control. Now let's take a look. When I press on the home button, this white screen with the VIEWSONIC logo pops up before it goes to the home page. So it takes about 6-7 seconds to actually come to this page. And for most of the other projectors, usually when you press on home and it goes to the Android settings, it goes almost immediately. So I feel that this is something to be improved. Now, under App Center, okay, you'll be able to see this very basic Android system. So within the App Store, there are some of the apps that you can load them from Netflix, iQIYI, Nick Jr., cartoons for kids, all the way to SmartTube, so on and so forth. Okay, YouTube for kids. There are some other news, sports app, music, Kodi, and so on and so forth. So this kind of interface is more towards like those normal Android TV box, right? It's not like a certified Android or Google TV with a certified Netflix. So for this area, again, this is something to be improved. Why is that so? Because these projector specs, based on the high lumens of 2900 and with a short throw for the screen, having a specs of about 1.5 meters from the screen to achieve 100 inch, is considered quite a good spec, but they neglect this part. So if they are able to include the Android TV or Google TV part, it will be more ideal. So this is something that is lacking. However, for us, if those clients who are interested to get this projector who buy from us, we will include an Android certified Netflix Android TV box for this projector that goes along. So without further ado, I will not be using this for simple reason that, now look at it. I tried installing the SmartTube, it isn't really smart, right? When I try opening up, or when I try to even select one of the video to actually play it, okay, I would say user friendliness is not there, right? So let's say I select 4K video, I try to search 4K video, right? The videos pops up. Let's say I try to load this Smith, all right? You see, I try to play. This SmartTube, which in my opinion is quite stupid, is not playing at all. Why? Because they are trying to block the first part of the advertisement that's supposed to come out and is trying to work as ad blocker, but it's damn stupid, in my opinion. Anyway, I'm not going to use the built-in Android settings that is in here because it really does not uphold the projector quality. In fact, it's a mismatch over here. But by itself, the projector is good in terms of the hardware specs. It has the brightness, it has the short throw, and this is also certified for the Xbox. And on top of that, it also comes with a Harman Kardon speaker, which the sound quality is actually respectable as well. So moving on, let's move back to the HDMI one, which we have plugged in the Amazon Fire Stick for demonstration purpose. Okay, what we are seeing over here is the Amazon Fire Stick. Now I'm going to click on YouTube. The HDR is turned off. So now all this content we are watching over in SDR. So let's do a search. Let's say we do a 4K video. Okay, and now at the same time we test the sound quality, why don't we play this LG Jazz? Let's test how is the quality of the Harman Kardon speaker, which I feel that the sound system from this projector is well respectable. Now look at the color of the video, it's also pretty good. Look at the black, it's pretty deep black, and naturally the color do stands out. Now as usual, let us turn on the lights. So although it's 2900 lumens, but because the distance from the screen or from the wall is still pretty near, at about 1.5 meter, so the color, the brightness is still there, even with the lights on. So now let us turn off the lights again. It's still very cinematic. Let's take a look at the menu settings. So upon clicking on the settings button on the remote control, now this is what we get, right? There's a pop-up menu, and from here we are able to adjust the display, image, power management, basic, advanced, system, and some information. Now, this looks very different from some of the other projectors' menu settings as well. So it's not too applicable to entire ViewSonic, whereby most of the other projectors, when it comes to that brand, the menu settings is almost quite similar or synchronized. Now, so for this model alone, for the ViewSonic X2-4K, so let's go through some of these menu. So keystone, all right, there's an octo keystone function whereby you can actually turn it on or off, okay? So you can, it does have some auto keystone settings within the system. Corner adjustment is meant for you to adjust the four corners on the left, top right, bottom left, and the bottom right to adjust all the corners to suit the screen. But do take note that whenever you do this corner adjustment or even keystone adjustment, most of the time what we need to do is having a screen, projector screen, that is bigger than the screen size they want, then you minimize it to the exact rectangle size that you want to achieve. Zoom, all right, so zoom is a function whereby you will be able to actually zoom in to the screen to enlarge. Image, so image over here, look, now it's actually under the movie settings, right? So let's take a look. If I move on to gaming, the pop-up menu start coming up, all right? So if I click on inactive or active, then I need to go through the whole settings again, home menu again, and then go and select. So perhaps the gaming should be moved down to the last part of the menu. TV settings, brightest. Based on our measurements of the lumens test, we set based on the brightest mode to do the measurement, right? So when it comes to the brightest, the color settings in terms of the contrast, the colors is not always the best settings. This happened to all of the projector, not only to ViewSonic, but this is how the brightness is being tested, all right? So going to other portion of the menu from power management, nothing much in here, but there's smart energy to help you to self-manage on its own, so you'll be able to do some energy management. Okay, basic, some audio settings. Again, not much to be tuned over here. Advanced, like for example HDMI, what HDMI settings that you are trying to achieve. System, front projection, or you plan for ceiling mount and so on and so forth. All these settings can be set over here. Okay, so quite standard in terms of the menu. Now we are doing a video test together with a sound test. The sound is coming out from the built-in speaker, which is a Harman Kardon tune speaker. The sound quality for this projector is well respectable. Look at the image. Look at the black. It's pretty dark black. So in terms of the color contrast, this projector, when set in movie mode, the color is still considered good. Now let's turn on the lights and see how it performs under the light condition. So when you turn on the lights, it's still pretty watchable. We off back the lights now. Now let's take a look at the brightness test of this VIEWSONIC X2-4K. Now the NC lumens for the white color is computed at 1866 NC lumens, whereas by the specs stated by VIEWSONIC is 2900 NC lumens. And let's take a look at the color. So the color NC lumens measurement test is getting the NC lumens of 1159 NC lumens. So these are the two numbers that we managed to gather based on our own in-house test. Now this is the second part of the video of a 3-part series video. Now if you like to see and watch what are the comparison between the two units, including things like the throw distance, the other functions like we are going to do a comparison for the gaming, which will then speaks about the refresh rate of both of these gaming projectors because they are gaming projectors. So watch out for the other third part of the series of the video by clicking on the link within this screen or within the description box below. Now, if you'd like to be updated to the latest home theater gadgets, including projectors, home theater system, and audio system, that's the reason for you to subscribe to our channel and do share our video to boost our YouTube algorithm, as these will encourage us to do more of this video for you. Now, that's the end of this part of the series, which is the second part, which focus on X2-4K from VIEWSONIC.